Here's a dire warning to those potential new players who are willing and ready to play Final Fantasy XIV after being overhyped and watching the Endwalker Cinematic. First and foremost, Final Fantasy XIV is not like a Chinese MMO or a South Korean MMO. It is not skip the story, hit max level, grind for best in slot gear, shit on other players. It is not that. It is heavily story driven. If you're not willing to put a lot of time into playing Final Fantasy XIV, then I do not know what to tell you. To this very day, I still get people complaining, telling me on my old Final Fantasy XIV videos that they are quitting Final Fantasy XIV and they're new players because of the tedious amount of bullshit that they got to go through. Playing from level 1 all the way to 60 is a nightmare. It really is, to a lot of players. Some players aren't that patient and can't go through that. Final Fantasy XIV is a heavy investment to a lot of players. Initially, for me to start playing, I paid over $100. For a normal player, you might pay somewhere around 80 to close to 90 bucks. It all depends. Then there's cash shop items that you could purchase, but that's up to you. Final Fantasy XIV is not for the faint of heart. It is not. Watching that cinematic, if you don't know what the hell's going on with Final Fantasy XIV, you will need to play from start to reach where we endgamers are now to understand what's going on. Some of you guys saw that fucking cinematic, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker Cinematic, and you guys are blowing your lids and don't know what the hell's going on in the MMO known as Final Fantasy XIV, and that is not good. All you're going to do is end up quitting, like a lot of new players do. But that's all I wanted to say. It's your boy Legacy. You guys have a beautiful day. I'm going to go ahead and roll the cinematic at the end of this. I'm out.
had begun to fray, its land rent by tooth and claw.
Are you all right? I can look after myself, you know. And I've had enough of this rot. Come on!
As the chaos spread, the star seemed doomed to unravel, and yet... there were those who stood in defiance of that fate.
The hour is come, Vritra. It's all or nothing.
Stage is set, but will our heroes deign to play their part? You took
took your time? 'Tis as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh. Still has secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
So, Charlian would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin.
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight. Until the heavens fall. Until our last breath.
Of fate. Green blades, dark and light. Tolling the coming of the end.
PlayStation